Well, hello and welcome again to our reading of selections from Thucydides, Book 4, and we're up to chapter or section 32. So this is the attack on Sphakteria. And this is quite a hard section, I think. But the Athenians immediately, diaphtharousi, historic present, they destroy the first guards against whom they run. So they attack on the run. So they kill the first lot of guards whom they attacked on the run. They did that immediately. The guards who were in their beds and still taking up their weapons. And the Athenians, having escaped notice in respect of their landing. So the Athenians' landing was not noticed, having escaped notice in respect of the landing. Genitive absolute, they, this is the Spartans, thinking that, and we get a accusative and infinitive construction, that the ships, as was their custom, were sailing during the night into their anchorage, Ephomon. And at the beginning, when dawn arrived, so dawn at the same time as dawn taking place, so at dawn, Hoalos Stratos, the other army, that's the rest of the army, landed. This is imperfect, so we're landing, and all of them now this is 70 and literally a little more, so we would say 70, or rather more than 70, all of them understand were coming from the ships, except for the thalamio. These are the rowers on the lowest level of the ship. So except the lower level of rowers. And we get this usual idiom here, so this is a perfect participle, so equipped as each one might be. So we might say with whatever equipment each one had. So they're variously equipped. Toxotai, and there were 800 archers, and peltasts no less than these, so a no less number of peltasts, and those assisting of the Messenians, so those of the Messenians who were let's say perhaps reinforcements, so the reinforcements of the Messenians, and others, as many as took control around Pylos, all except for the guards on the walls, on the wall singular, except for the guards on the wall. Now, genitive absolute, Demosthenes, having arranged them, dias dersan, this is this dia plus histemi, so they were separated, they were divided, and the kata is distributive here into groups of 200 and more. So they would, Demosthenes arranged the troops, they were divided into groups of 200 and more. But there is a place understood where there were less. So in some places less, and the participle on the next page is kata labontes, having taken the high parts of the land. So there's the labontes or kata labontes, having taken the high parts of the land, so that, now hoti plus a superlative is as much as greater as possible. so that there might be as great as possible aporia, difficulty, for them being for the enemy being encircled in from every direction. Kai me ekusi. Now, this use of echo here in the sense of no, a bit like in English we say, yes, I have it. In other words, I know, I understand. So they did not know, so that they would not know, subjunctive, pros hoc ti, in towards what thing, so that is in what direction, anti-taxonti, they might line up against them. So they might form their line of defence, they might line up against them. But gignonti, this is present subjunctive, they might be amphiboloi, attacked from both sides by the size, by the multitude. So attacked from both sides by the large force, perhaps. Now we get amen and a de. And the if this is the Spartans, so if they might attack, takes a dative, this is from ep hiemi, if they might attack, sorry, ep ami ibo, they might attack those in front of them, they would be being struck by those behind. And this next sentence here, this next clause here uses the same construction but no verb, so we've got to supply the verbs there. So if they were to attack those on their flanks, understand they would be hit by those who were stationed from the other side. So if they attack those ahead, they'd be hit from behind. If they attack those on the flanks, on the sides, they'd be hit from those on one side, they'd be hit by those on the other side, is the sense of it. And the enemy, who were psiloi, who were light armed, and those aporotatoi, well, something like most difficult to deal with, they were continually, they were about to be, mellow plus future infinitive, they were about to be at the back for them in whatever direction they might advance. So, so in it, whatever direction they might advance, the enemy, who were light armed and most difficult to deal with, would always be at their back. Ekontes alkane is another idiom here, really. It's sort of having, alke has more the sense of defence or resistance. So having the power of defence, and then we get these datives, using toxumasin, using arrows or javelins or stones or slings, ek polu, at a distance. That's a slightly idiomatic use there, at a distance. Nor, that's at hoios te ami idiom, nor was it possible to attack them. So it's literally those for whom it was not possible to attack. So it was not possible to attack them. Now the subject of this is still the Athenians. So fugontes, it's something like even if they were in flight, so even retreating, so even if they were in flight, they had control, and they were attacking those Spartans, understood, retreating. This dative a plural participle here from Anacorio. With such a gnome, perhaps plan here or design, Demosthenes at first thought of this landing. So Demosthenes had, right from the beginning, the landing in mind with such a plan. He had it in mind, epinoe. So he had planned all this already, and he arranged it ento ergo. Well, in fact, it's in the actual carrying out of the deed, so in the action. So it was both. So Demosthenes had in mind right from the beginning a landing with such a plan, and he arranged it so also in the action. Now that's the end of that chapter or section.